Hello, welcome to the Really Big Podcast with Seb Brown,
Ollie Johnson,
and Sam Congrave.
Yay, what a week it's been, what a week, and I'm going to tell you about all the news, in particular the odd news. Recent scientific evidence shows that 1 in 10 people have the feet of an ape. I don't know what that means.
That seems a bit high.
So you're saying most of mankind didn't evolve?
Not most.
They evolved,
1
but
in 10.
just not as much as everyone else.
Okay, physically they didn't evolve.
I think we're evidence
I don't
of
think
that.
1 in 10 is an accurate figure. It's got to be lower
It's
than
on
that.
the BBC. If you don't believe me, have a look on the BBC.
Okay, then we really don't know if we can trust them.
Anyway, also more news. A man was dumping rubbish in a river and accidentally dropped £80,000.
So, what?
Who carries that much around with them?
It was in a sack. Apparently he was dumping a sack full of rubbish in the river.
And he threw the wrong thing in?
Yeah, he got...
So now whatever's in the river is now rich?
Well, it probably would have just gone away, like when you put a £5 note in the washing machine by accident and it comes out and there's nothing on it.
Maybe.
And it's just a piece of paper that could have been anything.
Well, let's put the Bank of England back a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Why did he have £80,000 in a sack?
Did he just rob a bank?
I
He's
don't
just
know.
disposing of the bodies,
Apparently this was in Switzerland.
Okay, then he was really good.
In that case,
That makes it perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it was the euthanasia thing, and he's getting rid of all the bodies, and he's like, "Oh crap! I have just got rid of several thousand pounds. Oh dear, my life is ruined."
What accent was that?
I don't know. I don't always put the appropriate, accent. Sometimes when I'm angry, I speak with a Russian accent, but swear in German.
That's awesome. Okay, more news, more odd news. A man who had a pencil stuck in his head had it removed after 15 years.
How did he get it stuck in his head?
Apparently he was being bullied at school and someone pushed him down and he got a pencil stuck in his head.
And it didn't kill him?
No, apparently it made him not see very well and he always had a headache.
Well, I would expect he did.
So, what? So
wait. He's had it removed after 10 years?
15.
Yeah, 15 years.
15 years. What the fuck took him so long?
I don't know, I guess, got other things to do, you got to make a living.
Who's too busy to get a pencil out of their head?
Look, I'm just telling you what's out there, look, it's all out there. I mean, there was a picture of it, and it wasn't even one of those small, black and yellow pencils, it was one of those big fat ones that you have in art.
What?
But
I hope the children who put it in him, I hope they got a good kick out of it, because,
But the thing is, it was rotting away as well, it was all eroded.
But
and...
lead...
Yeah.
Surely lead inside the body isn't
But why
good.
haven't they been able to take it out until now? Why only after 15 years? Did they have to wait for it to rot?
But then again, surely it's useful as well, like if you're going shopping and you've got like a small bag and you don't want to hold on to it. And just hang it.
I was thinking more along the lines of if the pencil had an eraser on the end.
Yeah, like, hold on, I made a mistake on this check. Yeah, just rubbing it.
No, I'd hate to be headbutted by him in case he gets the wrong angle and impales him through the eye. Or what if a bird hangs on the side of it?
More odd news. There was a kettle that looked like Adolf Hitler that sold for £250 on eBay.
Why didn't I know this? I would have bought that.
Sorry, a kettle?
A kettle.
I've seen pictures of this kettle. It's like just Hitler's head, and it's got like a handle coming out of the ear, and another, dude, if only I could own something like this.
More odd news, because we're going for a marathon of odd news here. A man donated 100 gallons of his blood.
What's his name, Vlad?
The human body doesn't carry that much.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Oh, thank God.
I think it was over 30 years.
I was worried he was going to say,
Why would you
watched
wait
it
that
on
long? Why would you wait that long? Who draws blood out over that length of time? Because at the moment, I've got like an image of a vampire in his basement hanging upside down with a big bag of blood and he's going, chug, chug, chug.
Oh, I don't think it was non-stop. I think he took breaks in between.
Yeah, I know.
What, breaks for a biscuit?
Why would you want a stockroom of blood, which I'm sure is what he had at some point?
Thing is, again, this was in Hungary.
Of course.
No, I just hope it wasn't that guy with a lead in his brain, that was donating all the blood.
Well, no, because then just has to pull out the pencil and watch it all spray out and they catch it in a bucket.
Anyway, Ollie, you've been on a little trip, haven't you?
Have I? Oh, yeah. I went to Manchester for last weekend.
Oh, yeah?
There was a festival called Trauma Camp. I go every year. Bit tame this year, as to be said, but I did manage to meet the lead singer of the Undertones, which was cool.
Oh, yeah. What song do they do?
I think the most famous one was Teenage Kicks.
How's that go? I know
I'm
it.
not gonna sing it.
Sing it, Ollie.
No!
Do it!
No.
Do it.
Not gonna do it.
Do it.
No, not gonna do it. I mean, most of the people there are well over 40.
Okay, so it's like one of those
I wouldn't say
rockers.
most. At least half of them over 40.
And at least half of them were Bruce Springsteen.
No, it wasn't just me and Bruce Springsteen.
That's a shame.
Although that would probably make a nifty film.
Yeah.
I don't know, stranded in the forest camping with Bruce Springsteen.
That's actually a cool idea for a movie.
It's basically a 3-day thing, well, Friday night and Saturday and Sunday from 12 PM to 12 AM. Loads of bands on. I mean, I kind of got the distinct feeling that this was no longer, my crowd. But still, bloody good time.
Yeah, he realised that when someone pushed him out of his wheelchair in the mosh pit.
There was no mosh pit. That was the disappointing thing. Apart from one band I was in, I've seen more life at a fucking funeral. I mean, last year, I was in a mosh pit, a circle pit, a Cossack circle pit, of which I was at the centre, with people kicking at me, which was
brilliant.
Awesome, by the way.
But you couldn't kick back.
Well, of course I couldn't.
You could have just picked up your legs and just swung them around like swords.
I suppose.
I don't generally stay in my wheelchair in those sort of crowds.
With all these old rockers, I suppose you'd be kind of afraid to go in case one of them had some sort of medical emergency halfway through, the set.
Yeah, I know. But, it's also very easy to catch a stray elbow to the temple. If you are ever going to go into a mosh pit on your knees for whatever reason.
What, like in case I drop my glasses, which would probably be very likely if I was at a mosh pit.
Yeah. I was in 4 human pyramids this year, but that was all in the same, on the same, 1 hour set of the same band.
You obviously weren't on top where, on...
Well, no, I was part of the base. I can't, get on top of someone else.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Normally, I have 2 friends, or at least one of them that is
What,
normally there.
rock friends who you almost never see, but you see them at the concert sort of thing?
Well, yeah, but one of them was Mike Moody. Do you remember Mike Moody?
Oh yeah, that friend of yours at school. That's not alienated one. His
I haven't spoke to him since that very same concert 2 years ago. But
Okay.
not for any particular reason. We just never
drifted
talked.
apart.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a grudge.
No, it'd be hilarious if you did.
Now, what can I have against it? Okay, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah, really.
But-
I'm going to edit this out.
Yeah. Well, I knew people there in the sense that I see the odd people now and then. Generally, I spent most of the time there by myself. And I used to get cans of Coke from the bar. They're £1 each, by the way.
Ooh, I thought that things were cheaper up north. Oh yeah, it is Cheadle though, which is sort of the south of the
festival
north.
prices. It was the Manchester Rugby Club in Cheadle. Yeah. The Coke cans I had said, share a Coke with friends. And I thought, fucking hell, I'm being mocked by a Coke can. Everyone there is really nice, but it used to be I got a lot of attention because I was the guy in a wheelchair that was on his knees in the crowd, and everyone thought that was brilliant for some reason.
Yeah, you were like the party guy, like, yeah, Ollie!
Yeah, that's sort of what it is. But some of them there, I mean, most of them just say, hi, how are you? Has it been a year already? It's like, that's great. But a few of them there are still like it's the first time seeing something like that. It's like they've never seen a guy in a wheelchair before.
You probably don't remember it after all the drinking.
It's sort of like when you see a black guy in Heartbeat. Like, yeah, black guy in Heartbeat! He lives in the countryside, but he's black! Yeah!
In the 60s.
In the 60s!
That's what's a bigger issue, the fact that it's the 60s.
I remember when it was controversial when they wanted to introduce an Asian character into Heartbeat. But, they were pretty much saying that there wouldn't have been an Asian guy in that village at that time, which is a good point, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably still go next year, but I noticed this year I didn't know a thing about the running order, and I only knew who a few of the bands were, which sort of, I'd really fallen out of the loop.
It's the Kinks and about 20 people that you won't have heard of.
Well, the Kinks had never played there, but...
I don't know, that was off the top of my head.
Yeah. Let's see, The Damned did once.
Cool.
I hurt my leg in that set.
I've actually heard of them. Who else were there?
Let's see...
Just read off some obscure names.
Misfits.
The Undertones... Misfits were never there. The Undertones were there this year. The Beats as well. They were like a ska band around that time. That's SKA. Ska. Yeah. The Men They Couldn't Hang. The Undertones. Vice Squad. The Beats.
Wait a minute, the Undertones were below the Men They Couldn't Hang.
No, the Undertones were headlining on the Saturday.
I would have thought so, with all those obscure names.
I would have headlined them on the Sunday as opposed to the Beat, which were good, but that, it was in celebration of Joe Strummer of The Clash, a punk band, and the Beat were a ska band.
I like the way you read off all those obscure names and then you went, oh, The Clash, a punk band, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
But we all know who the Men They Couldn't Hang were.
No, we don't.
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah. There was this guy called George Borofsky. Well, I think it's pronounced Borofsky. It's spelt Borowski with a W. But, he was there at the second one, like 6 years ago, and he actually pointed me out in the audience. Whatever. Some of the stuff he said sounded like really...
This is why we need stem cell research.
No, he's clearly quite religious.
Okay.
But, let's see, I think I remember word for word what he said. I don't want to say it because it's embarrassing, but it makes me cringe. Yeah.
I can't imagine people humouring you at a rock concert.
He pointed me out because there weren't that many people. It was early in his set, so that a load of people were outside the tent, and I happened to crack a smile at somebody. And he said, "Take a lesson from this young man here." Smiled as soon as he walked in, and he walked in because his spirit walked in. And
fuck!
I know. Please edit this out.
No, it's hilarious.
Yeah, but
your spirit walked in. Maybe your spirit got up and did a little cha-cha
I know what
number.
he's getting at, and it's really nice. And but then I ran into him. I mean, again, really nice guy outside the tent, and he just came right up to me, close to me, and went, "Thanks for listening. God bless you." And I said, I remember you from about 6 years ago. Yeah, I remember you as well. I think he pointed at me when he was setting up as well. I'm not sure if he was
he might love you.
No, I think he's just a nice guy, but I'm not used to that sort of thing. At the time, it felt like really uncomfortable. Maybe it's my shyness.
He's probably the sort of person who, if he was assaulted and moted, say, "Thank you for keeping me on my toes.
Well,
you enrich my life."
It's just because you're not used to people being nice to you.
Well, yeah, it's true. I'm not hanging out with you arseholes.
He looks like Rover Dangerfield.
I do not look like Rover Dangerfield.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon dog.
But he's a bloody good musician and a really nice guy, but talking to him made me feel a bit uncomfortable as well. Maybe it's just my anxiety.
He had the same experience when he met Gary Glitter.
I've never met Gary Glitter.
Uncle Gary.
I did have an Uncle Gary. He disappeared when I was very young. I don't
was
know
he arrested? Was that when he was incarcerated?
No, I'm kidding. I never had an Uncle Gary.
Yeah, now you don't. Your family have asked you never to remember him after they found some very interesting things on Uncle Gary's laptop.
Do you know what song I remember? Then I Got High song. You know how it goes.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna go to class, but then I got high.
It's basically a guy failing at life.
Yeah, I love how mundane all of the things he does in the song are.
I was gonna cure cancer, but then I got high.
That would be impressive because, being high would stop you from doing those sorts of things, but being high doesn't stop you from going to school. I know from experience.
Some people, when I was at college, a person or two got stoned, between, in the break, between bits of the session, and were in class stoned, and there was this one guy who admitted to me at some point of, I'm not going to name names, but admitted to me at some point of drinking in the toilets. Like, when he went to the toilet, he had an alcohol problem. So yeah, getting high does not stop you from going to class.
Exactly. But when he said drinking in the toilets, I had a picture of him, like drinking from the U-bed.
No!
I just think that,
Like a dog.
the whole song is just not an exercise in the fact that he's, just getting high. He's just fucking lazy.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if the last time I was going to breathe oxygen, but then I got high. I was going to live another 10 minutes, but I got high. I'm asphyxiating and dying, and I know why. Hey, because I got high. So you can blame it on that. So when they do the autopsy, you go, he stopped breathing. I think the weed made him too lazy. No, he was just a lazy bastard to begin with. But do you remember him doing any other songs after that?
Who? No,
It was called Afro Man.
Yeah,
I don't think he did. I think he did another song, but
I remember the moment when I found out that Niles Barkley was actually CeeLo Green. I mean, think about it. 8 years ago, he did that song. That I think I'm crazy. That one. He disappeared for 8 years, then he became CeeLo Green, and everyone forgot it was him. I wonder if he was that ashamed of that song that he changed his name, which is a shame because it was a good song. Shall we move straight on to... Wait a minute, I'm just going to burp. No, first of all, there was something else. Oh yeah, the movie review. Right, well, it's that time of the week again. Time for my patented movie review, that all the critics think is eloquent and well thought through.
and the rest of society just go, oh God.
Exactly. Some say it's terrible. You may think that, but...
So, what movie are you reviewing this week, Seb? Spider-Man? Spider-Man 2?
Oh,
Spider-Man 3?
All good movies, but this week I'm...
The Amazing Spider-Man?
Not a good movie. This week I'm going to review Bicentennial Man.
Oh. I
Right.
haven't seen that.
Okay, now give me the jingle on it.
Movie review?
Okay, my movie review. Right, it starts with that guy from Jurassic Park. He lives in a house and he's got children and a wife. One day he gets a big package in the mail. He opens it up and there's a robot inside. The little girl doesn't like the robot, so she makes the robot jump out the window, but the robot's okay. The robot then goes to the beach with the little girl and he smashes the horse. And the girl doesn't like that, so he makes her a new horse. Anyway, he begins to fix radios, and people think that's amazing, so they make him go into business, fixing radios. And he makes a lot of money doing that, and he becomes very rich, but he's a robot. But anyway, he wants to be free, so he asks if he can be free, but the guy from Jurassic Park doesn't like it, but he says, yeah, go be free. So anyway, he meets this guy who's in this workshop, and he gives him a face and he gives him hair and he becomes Robin Williams.
I see.
The robot, dressed as Robin Williams, goes to this house and he thinks that this woman is the daughter, but it's not it's actually the daughter's daughter, and the daughter's now an old woman. And the old woman dies. He begins to go out with the daughter and his robot, but the daughter's getting married to this guy with a big chin. He doesn't like this, so he sort of breaks up the wedding.
Bruce Forsyth.
Bruce Forsyth.
I'm just thinking, where did this guy get the skin in the hair? Did he just go, I happen to have skinned many men in my time. I can make it so he can pass for a human. This one's straight off the skin. Wait, where'd you get that from? And then you see a man with no skin from like, ah! And he just throws salt at him and goes, ignore him.
Eventually he invents these lungs and stuff, so he gets all the organs put inside him. And, he's got everything in the end. Eventually they give him a nervous system, they give him a, cock and balls that works. And, he's pretty much become a person. And, but he goes to the UN and says, look, make me a person. And the UN says, no, we don't want to make you a person because people might get jealous because you're a robot. So, he just carries on for a bit. Then he asks them to make him old. and they make the robot old. And he says, look, I'm old now, make me a person. And I say, well, we'll think about it. Anyway, he's really old now and he dies, but they make him a person just after he dies, and he becomes the world's oldest person. He's 200 years old. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. It's a bit of a downer at the end.
That
but
sounds terrible. Demon Seed was easier to follow than this thing.
So, yeah, what do you think, Ollie?
You kind of lost me.
Where did I lose you?
Maybe around the time that you started talking about the robot basically buying hair and skin.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ollie, does that make you want to watch that movie?
Out of morbid curiosity, yes.
But I like how he actually chooses to look like Robin Williams.
What?
That's
I'm
the
a
best
robot. I'm 100 years old. Oh, I'm oldest man! Oh.
But yeah, I mean, apparently my movie reviews have been getting quite a lot of notice, you know, from all sorts of people.
Like who?
What's that guy called? Roger Ebert? He likes
He's
it.
dead!
No, he likes it. He says he likes it.
Roger Ebert is dead.
Oh, and Siskel likes it as well.
Siskel's been dead even longer!
And who else likes it?
And then I guess Princess Diana said it was the movie of her time.
No, she didn't like it. She thought it was crap.
So she thought it crashed at the box office.
But the funny thing is, it's one of those movies that's set in the future. But guess what year it's set in? Because it was made back in the 90s.
I bet. Let me guess. It was around 2010.
2005.
Oh well. That was...
So apparently, in 2005, you know, robots were possible, and we pretty much just ended up with with
Robin Williams.
No, we just pretty much ended up with SARS and the Iraq War. So.
Yeah. SARS.
What happened to SARS?
I think it just only affects Asian people now.
SARS!
Well, they're the only people who seem to have to deal with it.
Is it still around?
I don't know. It's not really that big of a problem because apparently it can there's only like a 2% chance. There's like a 98% chance anyone who gets it will live. So it's not really that big of an issue.
I like how all the big diseases are now, phased away into obscurity and
All
forgotten.
the good diseases were taken.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like going to the old folks and going, well, it's AIDS now, is it? Well, in my day, it was polio.
Even AIDS isn't what it used to be.
Well, AIDS, I'm amazed that Magic Johnson is still alive after, he contracted it all those years ago.
Well,
And
he contracted it in 1991.
I know, but he's still, it's...
The clue's in his name, his magic. Well, the big event of the week, you all know what it is?
Yeah?
What is this?
What is this?
What is this?
I forgot about that soundbite, I'll put it back in.
Okay.
What is
this?
Okay, so those who haven't listened before, what is this? I show them a random picture I found on the internet and ask them what it is, and they have a week to figure it out. In a week, they tell me what they think it is. There's no prizes, so, there's no incentive to actually listen past this point. But oh well. Okay, last week I showed you the picture. Do you guys remember what it is?
Oh yeah, the cat ATT walker.
It looks...
What do you guys think it is?
I think it's a cat that's got a birth defect and only has 2 legs.
Say what you see.
Or a cat turning round.
I think it's a very strange, porcelain decoration.
I think it's just a cat turning round and we're just looking at it from a different angle.
Okay, that's actually quite interesting. Do you know how this picture became important?
How?
It was found on Google Images, and they thought, wow, that cat's got 2 legs. But do you know what really happened?
Oh.
They just photoshopped it by accident. They didn't notice what they did, because when they do Street View, it's sort of distorted sometimes. And they accidentally cut out the cat's body. So it looked like a cat with 2 legs, but for a while a lot of people thought this was proof that there were cats with just 2 legs.
So it's just a Photoshop error.
Pretty much.
Ah.
So yeah, that was What Is This of this week. And this week's What Is This?
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Okay, I'll show you. What do you guys think that this is?
Piece of paper.
I think it's Rubber Duckzilla.
I think it's a giant float of a duck.
It reminds me of that Oasis advert.
It reminds me of that bit from the second Batman movie, when Batman's driving that, when the penguin's driving that giant duck thing, and has the penguins with the rocket packs and everything. You remember? You've seen the second Batman movie, the old Tim Burton ones.
Yeah.
Where the psychopathic penguin thing is driving that giant duck thing. That's what it reminds me of.
I ain't saying anything.
Not till next week, at least.
Yep, not till next week. Well, in the meantime, we have, this week, the agony aunt that knows the meaning of the word agony, Ulthor Longbeard.
Good day, young warriors! I'm back with more advice and wisdom to shower upon you misguided whelps. My first is from a homemaker, or wench, who writes, Dear Ulthor, my children's teeth have fallen out and they don't buy the Tooth Fairy story anymore. What should I tell them now that I can't sneak money under their pillows? Well, wench, my advice is to show them the teeth you have taken over the years and fashion it into a necklace. Make them wear it in public. It's a sign of strength to wear bones in public, as I wear the skulls of people who challenge me, and the police give me lots of attention. I hang out with a friend, and we always have to spend time with this one guy we hate. We don't have the heart to tell him we don't like him. What can we do? Well, if a lesser being is pestering you with his company, take him on an outing. Bash his head in with a rock or a turtle. But remember to hide the body. The final letter. Dear Ulthor, I have an eating disorder, and I'm not a 19-year-old girl, and I can't stop eating. Help me! Big is a good thing. A man needs something to grab onto. Eat more. When push comes to shove, all the thin people will freeze to death and break when a strong man touches them. I was Ulthor. Stay safe.
How amazing. The thing is, I call him an agony aunt, but I can't bring myself to call him an aunt.
Well, no, he'd put a battle axe through your head.
Exactly. Well, that was all for this week.
Till next time, it's goodbye from me.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from, who am I?
Sam.
Oh yeah, forgot.
And it's goodbye from me.
And wasn't there someone else?
Ulthor?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Rover.
Fuck you.
Ah! Okay, bye guys, see you next
Bye.
week. Bye.
Now let's get drunk and play ping pong.